We can start with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Welcome, everybody, especially Shannon, for joining us for your first go.
It's probably a good introduction because there's no one here, and I can ask you questions if I need to.
Okay, just so you know,
Usually
it's always like this. So feel comfortable with this.
I don't know, the Zoom, it seemed pretty crowded in the last Zoom that I saw. I couldn't hear, but
all right.
we had a lot of people in.
So, can I get a motion to approve the minutes, unless we had any comments or corrections?
We did have corrections. I sent around an email.
Yeah,
I wasn't here.
no, you weren't, but any,
No
everybody's
problem.
good?
So
Approved with the corrections?
Do you need the email with the corrections? Okay.
No, you're right. I remember that now. I do not need the
Yeah,
email.
it's typos, not
Yeah,
not
it was a
substantive.
typo, and yes, they were corrected.
Okay.
So,
Motion to approve.
second, favor,
Aye.
all done. Thank you. All right, and so Howard, do you want to give us a quick briefing of
It'll be
the
quick.
boards? Thank you.
Well, thank you because it's quick.
Yeah.
All right, let me start with this. This was I only have one copy. I didn't bother to make other copies. I'll just pass it around. This person came to the town board and is promoting recycling at the library. There's a card up here. She has a card. And in the back she has an address and an email and everything. And it sounded like a nice idea. The town board thought it was a good idea. It's being done through the library. It's an environmental thing, which is stuff that we're in favor of normally. So
Right. And they're doing this, though, to,
Get a bench.
yeah, to get something for, yeah. And it's just for everyone to donate these things to, so that they can get that faster, right? We just need to,
go ahead, sorry.
no, sorry, but donate, and we can drop off
Plastic
here.
Film.
Anything that meets this requirement, you can drop it off here at the town hall and at the library? Is
Definitely
that-
at the library, that I don't know about here.
Yeah, they have a wagon outside for that. I just saw it earlier today. And they have that posted on the website, on the library website, I think.
I'm not sure where
It's
it's
on their
posted.
I
It
think I've
should
seen
be
it.
under the town board,
Yeah.
you know, their minutes and so on.
I
which
feel like
couldn't-
I've seen it somewhere. I'm
couldn't
not sure.
find, but they thought it was a good idea, and I thought it was a good idea, and I thought all you folks would like to see it if you haven't.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
if you don't mind?
All right.
And the town board didn't vote on it, like, they just.
They just
were presenting
accepted it.
Yeah.
No, it's
They didn't
fabulous.
change the zoning code or anything to
Yeah.
include it.
Absolutely.
And the benches for the Greenway, the
Pollinator garden.
pollinator garden.
Yeah, I think it is part of the pollinator greenway or.
Yeah,
there's this-
it's, yeah. All right,
All right,
cool.
so that's the first. Okay, then there's the Calan Road. The planning board found no issues with what the town board did, is approved everything. And we have another Aaron resolution, you know, that he submitted to the town board. And then the planning board has it, so his firm has done some more business with the town. And CAC will be involved, and they, stress that. I asked that myself at the meeting, so it's recorded somewhere. I've asked them several times, and each time they affirmed, that the CAC will be involved. Another interesting thing is Steve Marino now has involved himself with a letter that he would like to be on site when they're doing the actual operation. So his firm will have more to do with this. Which is not a bad idea to have somebody look at this all
No.
the time, because it's kind of technical stuff in a way. And that came up at the planning board meeting again later against that Steve Marino will be involved. And to sort of skip ahead a little bit since we're on Kalan Road, I'll skip down to the planning board section on it. They did the CAC EAFs, and there should be an A there. And negative declarations found nothing. The town board adopted the resolution. A draft planning board, scenic wetlands permit, etc., dated 9/2/25, and a letter from the town wetlands consultant, Steve Marino, to be involved. He asked that he be part of the involvement.
So what was dated 9/2?
I'm going to go back a little. What is it? I was just reading it. Draft planning board scenic road wetlands permit approved resolution. That was done apparently on 9/2. Date I got from the notes from Aaron, the Aaron notes.
Okay, so in other words, the wetland permit was approved last night?
This is,
Or was it just a draft of it approved?
well, there was a resolution to approve it. I don't know if they actually approved it or not. I can be honest with you. It's not on the website yet to take a look at.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's, I checked the Killearn Road Planning Board website this afternoon, and there was nothing new
No,
there.
it didn't pop
So-
up yet. Sometimes it takes 2 days. I don't know why, but it does.
Mhm.
Well, anyway, that's what's going to happen with it. So we know, everything is going here. The wetlands permit is in the works somewhere,
Right, so,
and it will be approved.
So we
Yeah.
have 2 draft letters outstanding, one from late June and one from an undated portion of July. The response from the engineer was that a lot of our comments were addressed in a later version of the plans, which had not been posted to the website at the time we wrote the June and July letters. So everything is now up on the planning board website, including the most recent plans. The Collier's memo of July 22 commented on our letter. It was, so there's still a lot of information that is forthcoming. A lot of our comments were addressed in the memo from July 22, but there's a lot that remains. So I think what we'd like to do is send out a memo indicating that we've reviewed everything that's up on the website. The updated documents do address a lot of our comments, but there's more to come. And so we reserve further comment until the additional mapping and revised plans are made available. So that's, so I'd like to make a motion to send that out with today's or tomorrow's dates on it.
Who are we
Yes.
sending it to?
We're sending it to the planning board
planning
with
board.
copy to town board,
Board.
copy to Steve Marino, and copy to Aaron Werner.
Okay.
I mean, the only other person we could send it to would be Collier's. I should
Yeah,
probably.
I think, did we have them on there? The
No,
copy?
no, we didn't.
No, we
I
didn't.
should add them.
Yeah, you can add
Since
that.
I had.
Yeah,
I
since
will
we had
add-
contacted them.
contacted them.
So that was, so we have motion,
Motion to approve.
second,
Second.
all in favor,
Aye.
approved. That will be
That will be, also,
today's date.
today's date, I'll send it to you in final for you to distribute,
Yep.
right?
Yep,
Okay.
thank you. All right,
Hmm.
all right, so
All right, let's-
Howard, continue since we got
Yeah,
sidetracked on
I
that.
sort of jumped back to the Kalan Road because it was in both meetings. Okay, there was ones that affect us, the zoning board of appeals had a couple of interesting things going on. The solar law provides for no more than a solar array producing 110% of the electricity that the regular property would produce otherwise. And I suppose technically they're supposed to check if they use some electricity on a regular basis and not the solar. It still should not be over 100%, 10% of what they would use without any solar array. And that was the one thing that Mr. Reddle actually said about the project. Said nothing else about anything with setbacks or granting other variances. He did mention that, so there's something environmental that he approved, which then not always happen. But this time it was addressed as an environmental issue separately in the project.
Has the final approval been approved?
Everything else was approved.
So-
Under the condition that the 100%,
110
section be certified by somebody,
Okay.
a technical person, to certify that. He asked for a technical person to certify it. And the other interesting thing on the ZBA is the ongoing battle between the two neighbors about the pool, which is technically a man-made environmental issue, which is one of the things that we, CAC, does look at, the man-made environment. And it's a question of how close to another person's property can you put a large swimming pool. Eventually, the ruling came down that they can do that. People with the swimming pool were approved. It's not over yet because the neighbors have a lawyer. Still, the lawyer spoke for quite a while, actually, and it was agreed that there would be another public hearing, and it would be scheduled probably for next month. So the issue is still not completely closed. And I think it's a rather interesting issue myself, as my own opinion, is who has more rights, the person who wants to do something or the person who's affected by it?
Is this the same pool?
Yes, this is the one that's been
Yeah,
going on for a
it's the
couple of
same
years
pool.
now. I mean, so
4.
the question
Since
for me, would
yeah,
you want a
since-
swimming pool 10 feet from your living room window or something of that nature? Because that person wants to have a swimming pool, so whose rights prevail? That's not really been. It was adjudicated that they were approved, but they had an Article 78 and it's being appealed. So it's not totally settled yet. We, the CAC, I don't know if we have anything to say other than we're concerned about the man-made environment as well as the natural environment. I think if you stretch that out a little bit, that does, fall under our points of interest then. And that's why I put it back in there, even though it wasn't on the agenda per se as CAC material, stuff like that. It's our general obligation to the public by our charter that we look at man-made issues and
So-
that affect the environment.
On the 19th, the neighbors submitted the appeal of the building inspector's permit.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
And so-
basically the short version. Okay, so we're back to the planning board again. Now we did the solar array, we did the yard
Yeah.
garden. That's all that affected us, per se. There's an interesting thing on the planning board meeting that we talked about. The first one was the Killarn Road. We went over that pretty well, I think, covered that already. The second one, we got the letter from Steve Marino in there. Okay, so now we're down to the Harris Bed and Breakfast, which I don't know if any of you remember this. There was somebody had a while back that did some sort of bed and breakfast hotel sort of thing way back when. That was sold to somebody else who had an official bed and breakfast nomination before the board, and which was approved. There was some issues that came up at the time. I have to dig up the file if I can still find it, about septic tanks. in there, and the fact that there's a stream that goes by there. The Aaron resolution was, since the other people had a bed and breakfast, these people can have a bed and breakfast too. He sees no issues. The only issue would be the Board of Health might have to weigh in, because they've done a new wetlands law, which may or may not affect them, because there's a stream there, and I think they're in a wetlands buffer as well.
I didn't think they were,
Well, there is for the stream, I think.
but that's the question, is whether or not the stream is part of it.
I'm just looking at the map, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave briefly,
Yeah.
just to go over here and look at the map.
And there was a septic issue as well. There was 2 septic tanks there at the time. There's a barn.
So
It is just outside.
that was my reading, it was just outside.
It's just outside.
Yeah,
It's not,
no,
Not in the buffer?
no, it's not.
and, yeah. It's,
Does that map have buffers on it?
I
I don't think it does.
If you drill down, it did not
It
look.
is in the, it's got a tiny, tiny bit of it that's there, but I don't know if it's, and I don't see a stream through that section.
It runs out to Bennett College. It's the one on
Yeah, but
Bennett
it's
College.
higher. It's higher than the property. The property's over here, and a little bit of the primary recharge is on that property. So this is the roundabout here, and it's this property here.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
the
it's
stream
on the
in
corner of the
question
recharge, but the
runs
stream is
down
not
to,
there. The stream is further away.
it
that
crosses the
property.
road, down on Halcyon Road, and it goes into Bennett on the other side.
Yes, but not where that property is.
Well, that's
Exactly.
what I'm not sure of at the moment, but the issue was the septic tank. They were concerned about the 2 septic tanks that,
Yeah.
were they adequate for everything or not at the
Yeah.
time, and eventually they ruled it was adequate 5 years ago, whenever it was. But the whole thing has lapsed now, because, so it's a new application. The application
Yeah.
doesn't carry forward. It's a special permit application, which lapses after, I'm gonna say 9 months or a year or something like that. Whatever the time limit has long since passed, so it's a fresh application. The only thing Aaron checked on his long list of things was it has to go before the Board of Health.
Yeah.
And I think
Alright.
we were not part of that, and as well other things on his list, just Board of Health. And under the Board of Health, then I'm wondering if the new wetlands code that the state passed is now included in that, because of the septic tanks and the stream nearby and so on. So that's where that is, and it's gonna come back next month. We'll know more.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Erratica Planning Board member Richard Phelps wants the scenic roads section looked at again, because he's concerned about dust from dirt roads, and he and his wife are sensitive to dust from dirt roads apparently, and he would like the fact that scenic roads don't have to be dirt roads generally. Isn't that a problem? And the interesting one is the last one here. It was crossed off. We don't have this. I don't know if you have this or not, Margaret. This is the one on the website. You probably have this one. This is not on the website, but the one that's crossed off in the middle there. That's the one where these people want to put in a mobile home. And mobile homes were specifically ruled out in the comprehensive plan. The town will not have mobile homes. So now we get to the ZBA again. First, the building inspector is going to look at it, or the zoning administrator, and I don't know why he gets the authority to just one person to decide the code all the time. And it would have to go to the ZBA probably for a variance to the comprehensive plan. They were very specific about not wanting mobile homes in this town. It was not in keeping with the ruralness of the town to start putting mobile homes in the town on properties.
Mobile homes are like the most rural home you get.
Say again? Not
Most
here.
rural areas have a lot of mobile homes, so that's an odd motivation for keeping it out of the
Well, they didn't feel it was in keeping with the rural appearance of this town to have mobile homes in this particular town, one of the goals in the introduction to the master plan was to maintain a rural town with a commercial village, and not the town. It was one of the goals for the plan that was established up front, and the plan is then supposed to modify them to be adjusted to those goals. So it was very specific at the time that nobody wanted mobile homes in the town.
So planning board sent this back to the ZBA on what basis?
No, they didn't actually do that. It says the return to the building inspector
Or zoning administrator.
or zoning administrator, whichever one he is. And that's another interesting issue. We used to have two people, so there was like a check and balances there between the two people, which we don't. We have one person now in both positions. Normally, it would go to the first person would be the zoning administrator, and would make a decision. If he said no, that was probably the end of it. If he said yes, then the building inspector would look at it and see if the property qualified under the town code that the building inspector enforces. So now we have one person doing both, which does away with the checks and balances for those codes that allow for that step to happen. I think that's it. I think we touched bases on
When you're
everything.
talking mobile home, are you talking like a double wide where? they
No,
bring it
I
in?
think we're talking about those things that people tow behind their house, car.
Oh,
I believe that's what was, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I believe they
I
meant.
don't know.
I mean, I think it's anything that
Anything
doesn't have
that-
a foundation.
Yeah, that's not a set foundation.
Yeah.
It's considered a
and
mobile
so
home.
That's, a double wide is a mobile home?
A double wide could be a single wide, it can be
It's just whether or not it has a foundation
a
that's
tiny home.
set.
I think
Right.
all of
Well, in
those
other words,
things.
it doesn't have to have wheels to be mobile.
Correct.
Yeah.
It just has to not.
Maybe one of the skitters.
Just
Well, that's what they were against. I was physically there, but actually I was on the land use committee technically, so I remember some of it better than I remember other things. But I was physically in the room when that was discussed, and part of the land use committee all voted on it.
Yeah.
And then you had the entire comprehensive plan people voted on it after. That's the way it worked.
Right.
And they had much larger public meetings than they have now. They used to have public meetings in the firehouse, and that became too crowded. And then the public meetings moved to the Cornell Cooperative, which was also very crowded, and they had tables. So in the past, there seemed to be more public interest in things, judging by the number of people that showed up for them or were made aware of them. And people were very vocal at those meetings, and a lot of things were said. And so what you have now, with the last comprehensive plan in place, is a synthesis of what the town thought at the time. But a lot, even the person who they fired, who was the original consultant, said that we had a very large turnout compared to most people, most towns.
In the planning board meeting, did they redirect this because there's specific town code that does not allow mobile homes, or because it is not in alignment with the comprehensive plan?
Where's the one with the...
What you wrote was allowed by town code anywhere, but I just want to make sure we're recording the right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something I recall seeing in the town code, but I
Yeah. So what she's
don't know that I would remember.
Well, I
saying
wrote
about that.
It's not allowed anywhere in the town code and may be sent to the ZBA.
But is it not?
But it's odd because I thought there was a mobile home zoning.
Yeah. So if
Overlay
I don't want
and-
to write allowed by town code if it's actually not. Like, we don't want that in our minutes if it's not true.
Well, then...
But I think there is a mobile home overlay. Just no one knows where it's at.
Well, then the question is, we want to leave
Like
that out until
Specified area, is what you're saying, yeah.
somebody
Because, you know,
pulls
you do
up
have
the
those
master plan
mobile
and
home
checks for mobile
parks.
homes on their computer.
We don't have any.
No,
But-
but they have them like in, LaGrangeville.
No, I know.
Things like that.
But it may surprise you. I think there are mobile homes here in Millbrook somewhere.
I'm just gonna say it was redirected to CBA inspector.
Well,
Yeah.
can you pull up the master
Because-
plan and search for mobile homes on that desktop, laptop rather?
I bet you could find it in the E-code
Well, you could
really
find it there
quickly.
too,
Not
but-
on Wi-Fi here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But the E-code is supposed to reference the original
Yeah, it does.
plan, so if it says zoning mobile homes in there, it will say it. It's in the E-code somewhere, which is hard to find without doing
Well-
a search.
Yeah, luckily you can do the search thing now. It makes it easier.
you know?
Well, I think for our purposes,
Yeah.
this is okay. I'm just softening it from
Yeah.
not being part of the town code to not being aligned with the comprehensive plan.
Yeah,
for the
I
town
think
of
that's the
Washington.
better way of saying it
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure that it is in the code. It's just not a usable.
Anything in the town code is technically in line with the comprehensive plan because they passed it. Town
Not
code.
everything in the comprehensive plan is part of town code. That's the
Yeah, that's correct.
trick.
Well, it can't be in the town code unless it technically aligns with the comprehensive plan. Unless it's grandfathered.
Right. There's a lot of tricky wording. All right, well, I think the way you said is fine because for some reason I just can't find that right there. And it's right in front of me. But it'd be easier if I had the E-code. All right,
No, that's.
that's our note on that. Thank you, Howard. We did our final for the letter.
Yeah.
Did we have another letter that we needed to do a final on? We had
No.
already done it, right? Can you give us an update on our EP grant?
Sure. So at the August meeting, we reported that we sent out the RFP to consultants, 6 consulting firms, after receiving the grant from Hudson River Valley Greenway and the matching funds from the town board. We received a very strong response from CC Environment and Planning, a consulting firm in Batavia. It was the only proposal we received, but it was a good one that came in very close to our budget. So we're very happy about that. We notified them last week that they've been selected. I had a conversation with Nan Stolzenberg, who did all the work on our comprehensive plan. And she said that she was not bidding because it was a small project. And she was extremely busy. She definitely wouldn't have had time to travel to meet with us in person. And she said that everybody she knew was flat out, and that's why she wasn't even recommending that we, the people she would normally recommend us to
Yeah.
were also busy.
Okay.
So, so I'm very comfortable that we're in a very good place. The town board and Greenway were notified, and this week we expect to work on a contract with the consultant. One thing that is important is that we all need to record the hours that we work on on any aspect of the district proposal, so that if you took a look at the RFP, if you any email correspondence, I don't think we can use the time we spent preparing the grant application, but anything after the grant date in June, we should record, because we're going to need to show those hours to get the matching funds from the Greenway.
Right.
Now we should be able to do it, provided that we document everything.
Right.
So question, you sent a copy of the whole thing. So this time reading that and then sending a note to everybody count for anything?
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll send you my,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Slowly.
I do read slowly.
Well, that's
It works.
it works.
It works fine.
Can I just get the firm's name again?
CC
CC?
Environment and Planning, and this is a hard copy of the proposal.
Perfect.
So the budget doesn't include any amount for outside legal counsel, we think that the town attorney should be able to provide advice, but if we get to a point where that's not possible, we always can, there'll be other funds that will be made available to hire outside counsel if we need to.
Perfect. All right, and then can you also update us on the Climate Smart Community grant,
on the-
library grant?
It's Partners for Climate Action.
Yeah, but we're using it as Climate Smart, and they used it as Climate Smart.
Okay.
And you're
So-
on this as well,
So-
correct?
I haven't been to a meeting.
So-
I didn't go to the
Yeah,
first
you weren't
meeting.
able to go.
So
yeah.
I went to the first meeting. The focus of the first meeting was on getting ideas for listening to the community. And I was a little confused by all of that because we have a comprehensive plan that reflects the will of the community. So I didn't understand what the listening would be that was apart from the plan.
So that this is specifically supposed to be about climate change. is
No,
coming.
no, it's about all environmental action. It's not specifically about climate, as far as I can tell.
Does this involve Greenway?
No, no.
Greenway has a list of those things too.
Our grant is from Greenway, which is very specific and narrow because the EP district has been referenced a number of times in both the 2015 and the 2023 comprehensive plan update. So that we've got, I mean, all we're doing is we're taking the comprehensive plan, the NRI, and putting them together with our code. It's there's like no creativity or outreach, because in our view, at least on this particular narrow issue, the outreach has already been done.
It's already there.
So I think, we'll watch what this group does. So do you have any more background about the grant?
Just briefly, what Jen, I ran into her in town.
This is
and
Jen Glasson?
Jen Glasson, and she said that it was just a grant for a conversation.
Okay, so that aligns with what I just said.
Yeah, it's just an open book of conversation between everyone in the town, what their interpretation is, what they would see.
And not all of that
want.
it necessarily leads to legislation
Right.
or governmental action.
Right.
So that's sort of where I thought they might be most productive, is a conversation about what, apart from the town government, do
Right.
people want to see in the town? And there's
Yeah.
a lot that could be done there.
Yeah.
But that's sort of what I took away from it.
Yeah. And then,
I
sorry.
mean, the grant itself is supposed to be for climate action futures, which is interesting.
So are they using it as a climate smart climate action? Because that's the way I got it from Jen, was that through climate smart communities, it's one of their actions, technically for the town, but the village is getting the credit for it because it's a town thing.
Village didn't use, I'm on the climate smart committee.
She said that you're using it as one of your actions. I don't know. I may have misheard
Maybe that's
her.
the plan,
Yeah, I may have misheard her as well.
I mean, and I was brought in to be the Cary Institute rep.
Yeah,
I think I was brought in to serve a bunch of things with one person, but my understanding was that it was supposed to be about, the title is climate actions.
Right, but the conversation that I think was envisioned included a lot of things.
Which it could, greening broadly people use as
Right.
a climate action,
and then is
Surprised.
there someone, Heather Heather, is there somebody named Heather on there, on that committee?
On,
On the, hold on, I'm gonna
I
see
mean,
if I
I
can
think
find
he's
her.
got like 20 people on this.
Yeah, there's a
committee,
lot
so
of
I don't
people.
know.
So someone reached out to me as well about
Yeah,
the
that-
NRI. They couldn't even access the NRI on our town's website. So
It's-
Heather
It's there.
Blakey,
And it's
yes,
on
I
the-
know. I got it too.
Okay, Heather.
Heather Blakely.
Okay,
Blakey.
Blakey.
That is.
So she is somebody who I think was at this, or is part on the committee.
Oh, wait a minute. Actually, no, she's from somewhere else. Hold on. Nope, it's another master plan. It's for the, I think that one's for the pool. Sorry, I thought, is she on there, on that one as well?
She might be. I think I saw her name, but I don't know.
Nope, sorry, I apologize. That's the other one.
So that's the
Sorry.
only one, isn't it, at the moment, the pool master plan?
So-
That's the
So-
pool master plan. That's
so-
another conversation. Hold
So-
on.
So Gary Safari was there.
Yes.
So Courtney from the library was there. So I think, we will watch to see
Mhm.
if there's anything. What's unclear right now is what public outreach will be involved to get the EP district over the wire. So I think that's one of the things it will need to depend very much on, first, what the EP district proposal ends up being, and then, how that overlaps with outreach that may have already been done.
Mhm.
But it's going to be very targeted, not broad.
Not open. Not, yeah. We have to keep ours very
Because
tight.
looking at my notes, the main theme was, what can we do to show greater care for our home community? Why do we live here? How
Yeah.
are we already caring for our community?
Yeah. That's what I got out of the conversation with him.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, we'll know more after Shannon's gone to the meetings. Thank you, Pam. And thank you for keeping us up on all the grant, the EP grant. It's a lot of stuff to.
So we're going to talk about the town's climate smart
Yes.
task force.
Yes, so that's the next thing on the list is, we don't really have much of a climate smart community task force anymore. So, I was interested, and since we have the other Shannon here, both Shannons here now, I talked with Jen briefly about combining them. I think that we should be combined.
Mike is the chair now,
He
so
is?
that should be a good moment to combine.
Okay.
Mike Herzog?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was the one
Oh.
who
He
chaired
handed
it.
off before long, but
But-
currently he's the chair.
So because of, we only have to meet twice a year, so we only got one more meeting. And it's really kind of me meeting with myself, so I don't think it's an
But I'm
issue
the
at this point.
CAC liaison.
Yeah, you are, so you can come to the meeting with me.
I can come to the meeting with you.
But, Leslie was my, the other, and then we literally lost everyone when Leslie left because she said, let's see who wants to continue being on it. And everybody dropped like flies, which was, disheartening for one thing, but we just got,
I
we
could
just
do,
got to the-
but I could do a little more work
Right.
as long as, I'll clearly be spending a lot of time on the EP district,
I know.
but as long as the Climate Smart Community Task Force is not a heavy lift.
No, and that's why I think if we combine them, because we can piggyback on anything that the village does, and the village can piggyback on anything that we do. So if we just combine them.
I didn't even think of the EP district stuff counts towards Climate Smart Community. I'm sure it does.
It does. It will in some form. You just have to find the right one to
Right.
match it. And
The
Yeah.
village just put in for certification,
yeah, did they? Good for them.
and so that's the only thing I don't know how it will.
I know how it would affect, because we'd have to come up to certification to be able to combine with them, wouldn't we?
I assume so.
Exactly. But if we were piggybacked off of them, we could do it a lot faster.
But if you consider the village is inside the town, then everything the village did would have counted for the town to be certified. So maybe
That is what I'm thinking.
Oh,
I mean, the village can exist without the town, but the town can't exist without the village. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
No,
maybe
I mean, I
maybe it's
agree.
the other way.
Other way around,
It's
I
the
would
other way.
say.
It's the other way, sorry.
I mean, I think it certainly would be helpful, because it does get very confusing, and they get very nitpicky, and, you know, you
Yeah.
were talking about a meeting, and then just having a meeting. That's probably part of one of their silly actions, is
Yeah.
that you're talking about it,
Yeah.
and you take the minutes down, and you have to record it, and then you have to make sure it's on the website.
Yep.
Right,
Yes.
Shannon? You know, you kind of
Mhm.
have this whole protocol so you can record it. And, you know, I think some things that the village has done, but this is before I came in, where things kind of fell through the cracks because it's so like, oh, we didn't put it on the website, we need to put those 2 sentences in.
Yeah,
You know, it was done, but wasn't done the way they want you to do it.
Right,
So
right.
it can get, it's definitely much easier. I mean, I don't know too much about it, but I know that like there are certain things I'm trying to do, like I just found out and got the information finally, which was like pulling teeth, and it was to see how many LED lights we had in the ornamental.
Mm.
that's right.
And that took me a few months.
Yeah.
You know, oh, do you know? No, do you know? Who can I talk to that will know? We have 3
Oh.
LED lights.
But do you have the receipts?
Can you prove
That's
that?
going to be a whole other question
Can
to
you
ask.
prove that?
And can I prove
Uh-oh.
it? But
Well,
the
you
thing
should be able to prove
is
it.
that I'm also trying to get somebody who's actually going to have like, I don't know, some kind of cherry picker thing, because it's a little too tall for ladders maybe. I don't know. And,
Oh, gosh.
because there's one electrician, he came and he didn't want anything to do with it, you know.
I'm
Because it
shocked.
seems involved. There's one guy who's like fine with it, but then August hit, and you know, his kids had games, and you know, it got to be one of those. But he kept getting back to me, so I think I'm gonna pick that back up in the fall
Okay.
and try to get LED lights, because you know, we wanna get the electric bills down. I wanna get if we can get all these lights where these lights are LED and not fluorescent,
Mhm.
then that would be something at least we save money on and get points for,
And get
right?
the points, exactly.
And I thought
same
that was-
points you want for the building.
Yeah, it's all the same points. We don't have a
Right,
problem with that.
But you know what, it's just like, that's, I'm going with the easy fix first, you
Right,
know?
right, and which is what we all tried to do, you know,
Yeah.
last year, which we did a pretty good job.
I think you did a great
I
job.
think we did a pretty good job, considering.
Yeah, I don't think
It's not easy.
it's not giving up to think about combining, like, I
Yeah.
think there's some
I-
real reason
I
that
think there's a
shared effort
lot,
might
yeah,
be-
I think there's a lot of logic in sharing.
I think, yeah,
I really
agree.
do. I think it's
2 heads
just,
are better than one.
and it's, they're one and the same. You know, the village
See,
belongs to
There's
us.
also another thing, is that we were considering,
I
is
would
the,
think with that.
which would have to involve you, because you have the dump, right?
Yeah,
So, what if we put in a community compost, then we
Right.
would have to have okay with you, we'd
Yeah.
have to make sure that that went
Mhm.
through you,
right,
and that would be helpful,
yeah.
because that was stopping us. No, so I was like, why can't we do that? Why can't people drop off their
'Cause you don't-
clippings
'cause
or
you don't
their
have a permit.
whatever, and then, you know, farmers can come and pick it up, we can
No, I know.
compost it,
Yeah,
food scraps, whatever you have, right?
right.
But again, it's on town of Washington,
Right.
and we would have to be collaborative on that to have a composting.
Right.
It-
Didn't
it-
the village have one of those for a while, with these baskets outside the stores?
Yeah, the baskets, but we don't have like, you can get like a grant
To,
for
yes,
like a big composter
Yeah.
that chops everything up,
yeah.
and then
Alright.
farmers can come and pick it up.
So,
But it went away because the people in the stores didn't like it, and there was
yeah.
stuff being dropped in it that shouldn't be in there and so on.
Yeah, it's,
Right,
there's a
so-
whole education process, which the town's climate smart community was working on a pilot program. We
Right.
still are, but
Mhm.
the person in charge of that has had some personal issues, and we've not gone much further. So, but we tried to collaborate with the farmers market because they wanted to do something,
Right.
And it
And that snowballed into probably something else too.
we just
And that's why I composted the back.
yeah. So we will get into our pilot program as soon as we're able to get the climate smart community.
I mean, I would love
Back
to
into
do
it.
community composting. I think that's a great idea.
We've-
have
we've-
plenty of farms
That's a good
around
idea.
here to
So
come
the
collect.
person that's in charge of that has got like everything lined up. It's almost to the stage of implementing.
Really?
Yes, you know, where it can go, We just have to do the
I
critiquing
think I
at the
have
end.
the grant information for buying the industrial
We
grinder.
don't, we don't need to buy it. We don't need to get it.
Well, we did a grant for it, right?
Well, you'll still get, I'm not gonna discuss it.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
I leave that to somebody else to
I know very
discuss.
little about it, I know just. a
We can
little.
do the composting project without having that.
Oh, okay.
That's the math, that's the great part of it.
Oh, okay.
So, all right, anything, so, to the master pool plan, which keeps popping up in everywhere as well. I don't know that much about it, but I do know that there's a committee that is looking into, because it's not been done, I guess, recently.
All I know is that Mike Murphy and
Yeah.
Doug Giles talked about it at the town board meeting
Yes.
slightly, but they didn't, really wasn't done officially. They wanted to know, the last committee that we had, I'm not quite sure what that one was for, that everybody met, and the very recent one, they wanted to know who was on that one.
On the
Is this a-
hospitality? Are you
yeah,
talking
I
about the
think-
hospitality? Oh,
The one that met about 2 years ago.
On the pool?
Here, when they met in this room, there was a committee of about 8 or 10 people. I think you were on it.
you're talking about the hospitality.
Probably.
Over-
I
yeah,
can't remember
comprehensive,
exactly
yeah.
what they did. I don't think they wound up doing much of anything, actually, but they wanted to know who was on that committee, the two of them talking at the board meeting. And I guess they were looking to get those people, some of them reconstituted again. I wasn't
That's-
sure what they were talking about, but you believe it's the pool comprehensive
I
plan now.
do know that the pool, they have a master plan pool committee. I know there's a group of maybe 15 people, and it's to look at what the public or what the town wants the pool to
Mhm.
be. Some people think they should fill the pool in and put a splash pad, and that's all I've heard so far.
It probably is, because Mike Murphy is involved.
Yeah.
Mike Murphy was very active
Well,
in
yeah,
recreation.
because he's in recreation, yeah, and Bob's in it because he's the building and grounds. So that's all I know about it right now. So it's in its introduction stage, and
It seems like a worthwhile project.
it's something to look at, because
Yeah.
nobody has actually sat down and done that recently. So that's why they're
Very good
doing it.
idea.
So
What is this, for the town of Washington?
for the
right?
town pool.
So like a real pool, like a pool, or like the lake pool?
So our lake pool,
Right.
it's to discuss what they want to do, what the town would like to do as a whole. I believe.
Oh,
At the park. Would they like to fill in the pool, since we have a decline in families using it,
okay. Oh.
put in something different, splash pad, whatever. But it's
I
a whole committee started on the future.
I see.
So, but that's all I know at this moment. I'm not a part of the committee.
We can arrange that.
No, it's okay. I'm good. I'm good not being on that committee. So that I don't, October 5th is the Bennett Park opening, I guess. They're gonna have, and I hope that's the right date.
That's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday. Hopefully the weather will be nice. I think they're having just a get together, bring your lawn chair. There must be music or something. I think it,
Food trucks, I heard.
yeah, I've
That's
not
what
seen
that's what-
anything on it yet, but I've only heard bits and pieces, and
Me
Nan
too.
mentioned it to me a little while ago, so I wanted to remember that. Is there any other comments, questions, or concerns that
Yes,
we need to?
I want to talk about the picture I sent you I didn't send it to you, I don't think. There's construction going on Maple Hill Drive, and Maple Hill Drive historically was a farm before World War I. I believe it was a sheep farm, according to David Greenwood at the time. And after that, it was just left to go to seed and grow trees and whatever. They abandoned that. So a lot of those trees on that area, and in the picture I sent you, you could see all what's left of that in the background still. It was recently bought by people called Riga Homes, who build commercial housing place that builds houses for families. It's one, and if you go on the on the internet, you look up Riga Homes, you'll see what they do. So in the picture I sent you, you can see they basically clear cut a whole 1 acre plus parcel so far, and all those trees are gone. trees are an important part of the town. This is one of the things that makes this town what it is rural town. And that's what most people want. They still want a rural town. Unless things have changed dramatically. That was one of the main things in the comprehensive plan. We want this to be a rural town. So we do not have, other towns do have a tree ordinance for some reason. The village has one. The village doesn't have a lot of trees compared to the town. The town has quite a few historical trees. So I would like to, see if we could get the town board to be interested in a formal tree ordinance. They can have a committee to work on that. It's not that hard to put together because there's a lot of them around already. But the town board would have to, be the lead agency in getting it started.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of our things as a CAC to look at the environment and say that this is something that we're interested in keeping an eye on. This part of the town's environment, natural environment of the town is a lot of trees still, and once they're gone, they don't really come back very often. They just sort of like fade away, and so that's one thing. And if you look at the picture I sent you, just read this picture I took today on the way in, you can see what happened. There's a whole acre basically cleared, and then you look in the background, you can see what's left of the trees that they were cleared out there a little earlier, but it still gives you an idea of what's there. If you look at other parts of just Maple Hill Drive, you can see a very dense wood of trees in there.
Is it Maple Hill?
Maple Hill Drive is where this happened, but that's not Maple Hill Drive alone. That's really is involved. It's a town. Maple Hill Drive is just, in my mind at least, a glaring example of what could go wrong. Because if you remember when they did Bennett College, when the guy came in to develop Bennett College, Blumenthal, I think his name was, I worked on that as well. And one of the things in the report was he had to declare any trees over 8 inches wide in diameter at the waist, or the chest, wherever they up there. And then they had to give a reason why those trees were being cut down. They had to justify it. And that's just in the village. And he had some of it, but he wasn't able to justify quite a bit of it even at that developed area. So this is something that, that I think the town needs to definitely look at. It just, in my opinion, it just fell through the cracks. Nobody ever paid attention to it. Because no, you don't notice it in many cases unless you live in the area. You don't notice what's going on in other places, but it's probably going on segmentedly all over the town.
Over, yeah.
And the other one I think that we also are lax in not having is a noise ordinance. Most places have some form of a noise ordinance. Like these people doing the Riga Homes, they sometimes come at 6:45 in the morning. And because that particular area is made up of a rock called phyllite, which is almost like granite. It's a metamorphic rock. And they had a pile driver in there, and the pile driver was, the closer you were to that, all day long you had to listen to this pile driver, which is bad enough. But to come 6:45 and start doing it, and with anybody who slept later or worked at night or so would be woke up at a very early hour by that. So that's not that we need to do that. But we do need, I think, as many towns do, have some sort of a noise ordinance in the town. The village has one. So, and again, that's the town board has to initiate that. It doesn't have to be, overly punitive, but it should be something in there that people can say something about noise in occasion. You'll say more about it if it's next to you, by the way, wherever you live. But it's lacking in this town. Other towns have it. And that's basically why shouldn't we, a rural town of all places, have a noise ordinance? So I think those are two things that we as a Conservation Advisory Committee might want to try and involve the town board or somebody to see if we can put those through, a tree ordinance and a noise ordinance, both lacking in this town for protection of the environment.
Do you want to draft a letter up to the town board?
Basically, I could draft something, let you all work on it a little bit. I don't mind doing that.
Perfect.
I mean, Walt and I had drafted something back
Yeah, you
before we
did.
started the CSC and decided to wait until after the NRI.
Yep.
And what we found at the time was that many villages have a shade tree ordinance. That's not what we need here.
Mhm.
We need more of a community forestry
Mhm.
policy
Mhm.
that protects tracts of forest and isn't as focused on individual trees. And at the time, we had recommended that we look more closely as a committee at Red Hook, and there were a couple of other, and I can't remember right now, but nearby towns of similar size and character that have these policies. Red Hook has one.
Yeah, Red Hook and Clinton, maybe?
And Stanford or Clinton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the gist of what we want to say to the town board. I mean, I don't want to, deviate from something that we've already agreed on. I can elaborate some and send it back to everybody. Can you send me a copy of that so I can find it somewhere in my disorganized system?
Yeah, so then we'll do that, and we can all look at it and have a look at, I'm gonna say Red Hook, Rhinebeck.
Yeah, that's basically
I
what we
wrote a
want to
letter
say to
in
them.
Yeah.
2022,
Yeah,
and we decided not to do anything at that time
because other things were going
because
on.
we had other things that were gonna
That
were-
take precedence.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
so
will send it.
send it and we'll relook at that.
Yeah, I think ideally it should come from all of us through you.
Well, yeah, no, I'm the one that usually gets to hand it
Yeah.
in, but we all get to do it.
We could all put input on it, but yeah, I think that would be a good thing to do, since we've already got it.
So,
basic-
but the noise ordinance, right, I mean, the reason we don't have one is that state law applies.
Mm.
And so, is there a reason for us to be more restrictive than what the state?
I don't know.
What does
Yeah.
the state say? You have it off the top of your head?
Well, Margaret has looked at this.
I would have to re-examine what it says about some things. I know parts of it, what it says. And it's really 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
That's what I think too.
Yeah.
It's
You-
unfortunately, but yeah.
Well,
I
it
mean,
doesn't
because we
mean
got
that
the
you
garbage
have to, can't be more,
people coming in
a
at
little bit
7
more
a.m., right?
restrictive. Maybe
come in a
you
lot
could-
earlier.
you might
Yeah.
want to also say that by, density in the town, maybe 7 a.m. might be acceptable to people in a much larger zoning area. Plus, if it's not too close to their house, that you can set a decimal limit. You can't have X amount of noise decimal-wise within X amount of feet of a residence and before 7 or 8 a.m.
This is a,
It's-
it's a very thorny issue.
So
So other towns have them, that's the point.
I understand,
Yeah.
but putting one in, I think,
Well, nobody,
I'm just
people
not-
aren't going to be for it. There'll be
There
people
are
against it.
two,
but-
will be two sides to this.
it's,
Yeah.
it's gonna be,
And so I just think there may be other things for us to spend our time on than a noise
Yeah.
ordinance.
I think the tree removal thing, great idea.
Yeah,
I think
trees-
that's a great idea.
Trees
We
seem
gotta-
I
to
think
be,
that could be something, let us, go with the easy one first. And
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
for that because, once,
Yeah.
you're right, once the trees are down, you're absolutely right. Once the trees are down, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
But if you can
And then-
catch it before that gets to be a problem,
Yeah.
then that's great. So you should probably work on that one.
Well, so we do the tree one first, if everybody wants to go that direction, and
Yeah,
say,
well,
want to
definitely.
save the noise ordinance for a later date?
yeah, we're gonna save that, and I'll re-examine it again. I'll go and look when I have a chance in the office, look at this again and what it said. Because trust me, the garbage is up at some ungodly hour, and you're never gonna stop them.
No, you're not.
Any other comments, concerns, anything? Shannon, would you like to say anything else to us? Anything about the
No, it's
village?
great, I'm glad I came, thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
thank you
thank
for coming.
It was nice to meet you.
Really nice to meet
So
you.
we can
It was
see
great,
you
Ellen.
next month?
Yeah,
Or at least by the end of the year,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You've
Oh,
got a
yes,
couple,
yes,
you've got a
yes.
couple to get to.
I do, yeah.
All right, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn.
Second? All in
Second.
favor? Bye.
I hate this recording.